Some say that taking contraceptives makes you get pregnant quicker and faster. I don't know how true that is, but do you think they mean the opposite? Anyways, today we're going to be discussing abortion. My name is Mariam Mohammed Sani and I'm going to be your host. And you are watching Teenage Blues. This is a program where we discuss issues disturbing our youth, young adults and teenagers in our society. And we try as much as possible to provide solutions to them. Just so you know, abortion is also murder. So anyways, we'll go on a quick break to hear what our lovely, lovely teenagers outside have to say about this topic. We'll be right back.
Hey guys, my name is Mariam Mohammed Sani Osirebreme and you are watching Teenage Blues. Welcome to the Vox Pop session. Here we'll be asking people on the streets questions concerning the topic abortion. Want to know what they're thinking, want to know what their thoughts about abortion is. Let's find out.
Abortion are mostly done when, like in the case of unwanted pregnancies, like when a girl or a lady is pregnant and either she doesn't want it, a partner doesn't want it, or the both of them don't want the child. So she has no other option than just to undergo abortion.
If you don't want to keep the pregnancy, you can go and remove it. That's what I know, that is abortion.
Removing of unwanted pregnancy. And I don't think it's a good thing. Because I would think it's a part of murder. You are murdering the baby. If you don't want a baby, don't go for it.
Welcome back. I said earlier that we'll be right back. If you're just joining us, you're watching Teenage Blues, and my name is Mariam, and I'm going to be your host. So, as I said earlier, we'll be discussing abortion, and I cannot just start talking by myself. So, with me, I have two elegant teenagers, or young adults rather, that will be discussing this abortion with us today. They'll be sharing their ideas concerning this abortion. Their names are Taiwo and Joseph. So welcome. You guys look very, 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 very lovely.
Thank you very much.
So as soon as we'll be discussing abortion and its effects in society and the human body. So what do you understand by the term abortion, Taiwo?
I feel abortion is when you eliminate an unwanted pregnancy. Probably you're not ready to be a mother yet or something. When you just eliminate the pregnancy, probably unwanted. There might even be another reason, but you just make sure that you eliminate the pregnancy. So that situation has made it abortion because you didn't keep the child.
Okay, so Joseph, do you have anything?
Yes, I think I'll agree with him. You understand? Because when someone gets pregnant, there are two ways you can lose the pregnancy. Either it's not deliberate, as a miscarriage, or it's deliberate, that's you actually remove the fetus from the womb of the woman because the pregnancy is unwanted. Okay,
you said deliberate, and will you call miscarriage an undeliberate abortion?
I think miscarriage and abortion are two separate things.
Oh, so Taiwo, you said something earlier about unwanted pregnancy. You know, sometimes some people want to get pregnant. So along the line, they start having this phobia of pregnancy and they want to eliminate the pregnancy. In fact, they end up eliminating the pregnancy. Would you also call that unwanted pregnancy?
Well, you said they have phobia. They already got pregnant. Then phobia to become a mother or something. So it's still unwanted pregnancy because okay, at first they wanted it, then later it became unwanted because they probably had their reasons that, okay, I'm not ready to take care of this child yet and all of that. So it's still abortion.
Oh, okay. So at what age do you think all these our teenagers engage in abortion? Do you think there's age limits or age range rather?
Well, I don't know about the age range, but I've heard of 13 years old getting abortion, 14-year-olds. I don't understand how possible that is.
And who did it for themselves?
People.
Because they are so young.
Exactly.
Actually, so how about you? Have you heard of any age range or something?
No, but I feel like as long as teenagers are starting having unprotected sex, it can lead to unwanted pregnancy, which will also lead to an abortion.
Just why do you think teenagers engage in illicit relationships and abortion?
Illicit relationships. I think you're talking about all these people that do sugar daddy and stuff like
Daddy.
Okay. I feel like, okay, one reason might be because of financial reasons. Maybe they don't have enough money, especially if they're in school and they need that kind of financial support. In fact, sometimes they might need emotional support because some of them, maybe at home, they don't have anybody taking care of them. Like
Yeah,
there's no
somebody to follow.
exactly, they're just neglected, and then they want that love and support from
Yeah, it seems like daddy issues.
exactly. But they now go and look for it in the wrong place.
Yes.
Understand? So,
But like, can't they have friends that can also like give them emotional support and all?
they can, but you know, as with teenagers, they're still growing. They're not very wise yet. You understand? So it's in some areas they need like someone to be over them. You know, you see until you're 18 that you're an adult, and even then, say, you still need someone over you to at least guide you and as you're going through life because you've not been down this way before.
What are some procedures of this abortion? You know, they have different ways to abort pregnancies. In fact, lots and in fact, you start mentioning today like this. So
No,
just
I've heard of using fork to remove a child. I don't know how
Fork.
they do that. I don't know how they practice it, but I don't know how they do it. But I heard they say they use fork, or you probably take 7-Up and something, mix it together and you drink it. Different kind of concoctions that I've heard.
You're shocking me to the fuck aspect of it. And also, Joseph.
I think you have said the one I have heard, but I've also heard another one. I heard that they use hanger too. I don't know how it's possible or why you put a hanger, but yeah.
So who helped them to use hanger to abort the pregnancy?
I don't know, but like I said, because they're very desperate, and when you're very desperate, you go to any maybe quack doctor. Sometimes it can be your friends, it can be anybody that will just help you really.
So like, quack doctors really use hanger.
Yes, it can't be real doctors now.
Which professional doctor that knows what he's doing?
Like-
Try to use hanger.
I've heard one that there's one agbo, they call it pepper soup. And if you drink all your whole body will pepper you from head to toe. And what will not be you not be sweating.
Wow.
I've heard of Alabuku and 7-Up, different things which are actually very, very harmful. Okay, so let's go on a short break, see what our expert has to say about this topic, abortion. We'll be right back.
I'd like to talk about abortion, and the demographic that I'm targeting today is adolescents, young girls who have been, who are fascinated with the idea of having sex because other people are doing it. There is time for everything, as cliche as it may sound, but it's the truth. There's time for everything. And, one of the reasons why a young girl is likely to go into sex is because, one, she may be curious, about her body and the changes that is going on around it. It might also be because of the conversations that she's having with her friends. Maybe they've also experimented it, or they have been, unfortunately, introduced to sex at a very early age. And a young girl should be able to say no, even though other people around her are doing something that may be perceived as cool, but in the long run has many complications. And what am I referring to here? I'm talking about peer pressure and this need to be seen as cool, to be seen as accepting, to be seen as, to be seen as up to date, because, society in a way has endorsed and made people feel like if you're not living on this other side of the track, or you're not engaging in all of these behaviors, then you're not living life to the fullest, or there's something that you're missing out. As a young girl, there are many reasons that might help you, to stay away from this decision or taking that step. And there are many reasons, It could be because you need to do what you need to do at that time, which is your education. It could also be, because there are, for people who are of faith, many religions frown upon premarital sex. And no matter how people want to explain it away this day, or to excuse the behaviors that they are going into, let us still always refer to many of the religious books that says that we should stay away from that until marriage. And that should be the watchword of a young teenage girl. Now, a young teenage girl gets pregnant because for all these other reasons that I have mentioned, she gets pregnant. It may be for a peer of hers who is absolutely not ready to take on the role of a father. Neither is she, a young girl herself, ready to take on the role of a mother. And we must understand that many of these behaviors and many of these choices that leads to bringing a child early into the world is the reason why we have so many problems in the world. Because you go ahead to bring a child into the world, you're not ready to take care of that child. You do not have the means to cater to that child. You're not emotionally mature enough to parent a child. And you leave a child, you bring them into the world and you leave them on their own to take on whatever behaviors and to turn out to be in whatever way that they eventually turn out to be. If we do not, say these things and hit the nail on the head, we will continue to have a lot of problems in the world. Now, a young girl goes ahead to have an abortion. There are a lot of complications, which could be physical and can be, mental. I do not see how a young girl is likely to walk into a hospital where they would serve her in the right way, in the standard of care, where you can have, a termination of pregnancy done. It is most likely that this young girl would patronize a quack. And we know that there are a lot of quacks in different shanties and communities in Lagos. So on the medical end, her womb can be damaged. She could be given a lot of infection. And then many years down the line, the lining of the uterus is affected, and then she's struggling with infertility. And the other end is that a young girl gets pregnant. It has its own psychological toll that it takes on that young girl. Your mates are in school. You know what you have done. You're struggling with conscience. You're struggling with what people say. You're not able to sleep. So there is a myriad of things that can happen to a young girl after she's had an abortion. She can develop an anxiety disorder. She can develop depression. She can even struggle with thoughts of taking her own life. And there are a lot of young people, even after the act of abortion, because of the guilt that lives with them, they become depressed and they can take their lives. Some of them can go into even substance use as a way of coping with the reality of what they have done. My advice to any young girl outside, it may seem like it is cool. It may seem like it's the thing to do. But I say again that there is time for everything. I say again that you're not missing out on anything, because a time will come where it will be your right to demand and to receive sex. But for now, the focus is in the other things that will build you personally. Your education, volunteering, picking up leisure activities that would help you to become a woman that occupies her own space in the community and in the society.
Okay, welcome back. And if you are just joining, this is Teenage Blues. So as we were saying earlier, we're talking about the role of society in abortion stigmatization. So what do you, Tayo, what do you think are some societal roles to avoid stigmatization?
Okay, the thing is, I think when a young child, like a teenager, gets pregnant, one thing is likely to happen, the stigmatization from society, because they'll be like, see that small girl, she don't give belly, that small girl, she's already pregnant. They're already spreading your gist everywhere. So even you yourself, you won't be comfortable in some situations, in some places, because you know that they're pointing at me, they're talking about me and all of that. So I feel your society has to do with everybody, even your parents. So as a parent to a young girl that is pregnant, and probably the guy is not interested and all of, and the family of the guy too, they are trying to deny the pregnancy. I think you as a parent of your child, of your daughter, you should, obviously it's not the right thing she did, but you should still embrace her. Don't make her feel like she has become like the ugliest thing in the world, because some people actually do that to their child because they got pregnant. Still draw them in, make them understand that okay, you've made a mistake, but life still goes on. You can still even be better than a lot of people. Don't give them that idea of you've already ended your life by just giving birth. So that's what I'll say for parents. Then friends also, it's even not to cause all these things past, because we'll be spreading their gist, telling people, gossiping. So if we can limit the way we talk about all these situations about people, your friend, why are you gossiping about her? Why do you have to tell people that Can you imagine? She got pregnant at that age. Blah, blah, blah.
Who knows what a child will become later in the
Exactly.
future? So, Joseph.
Okay, I think I want to continue from what he said, because as a friend, if you are in maybe class, secondary school or university, one of your classmates has gets an unwanted pregnancy. Now, the right thing to do is put yourself in that person's shoes before you begin to judge. You don't know what the person was going through. Maybe the person, you don't know if even you, maybe if you had grown up in that kind of family, maybe that's where you would have ended up. If you understand.
Yes.
So I believe that one way you can reduce stigmatization in the society is to put yourself in that person's shoes. That, what if you don't know exactly? What if it was me? You don't know what this person is going through. You understand? The one thing to do is to always extend love to people. Don't judge anybody. You don't know what anybody's story is.
Because some people's words can break
Exactly.
the person.
Exactly.
So that means you guys are in support that abortion or early pregnancy should not be a stop or end to the child's life and schooling.
It shouldn't be at all.
There are so many options. Even if she doesn't want the baby, eventually she can maybe give it up for adoption or whatever. Or there are couples that maybe need a child, that have been looking for a child. So it's not the end of our life.
So we'll be going on a short break, and I promise we'll be back ASAP. Welcome back. You are still watching Teenage Blues. So, Taiwan and Joseph, what are the reasons why teenagers engage in abortion? Like, why did they even decide to get pregnant?
You know, some girls now, there's this idea of peer pressure that they feel when they see other people dating. So they just want to, let me date too, since everybody's dating, which is not compulsory to date someone actually. And okay, even if you're in the relationship, you can always have a mutual understanding with whoever you're dating that it's not compulsory to actually have sex. Like, why does it have to be that, okay, I'm entering a relationship because I want to have sex? It doesn't have to be like that. You can have a mutual understanding that this is not necessary in a relationship. You can just date and we don't have to engage in sexual activities.
But some people, like, even if they have that mutual understanding, but when they get into that relationship, the whole story will change entirely. You start saying, but we had an agreement. So now the person starts saying, which agreement?
In that situation, why not just end the relationship? At least this is about your life and this is also the person's life, and you're not ready to do anything that will affect you. So you can leave the relationship. It's not a compulsory thing to date someone. Are you ready to marry? Are you ready to be a mother?
True said. How about you, Joseph?
I would say that the reason they engage in sex in the first place is, like you said, peer pressure from their friends. Now, one way to cope that would be, don't even get into a relationship in the first place, to be honest. Like, remember, I said it earlier that abstinence is the best way to know that you are definitely not pregnant. Like, if you have a pregnancy scare, if you see that, the period is not coming for like 2-3 days, you know that, it will still come. You are confident that nothing has happened because you know that you've not had sexual intercourse. But it's when you've had sex that you now begin to run helter-skelter. You're supposed to be focusing on your studies. You're supposed to be focusing on your life. You understand? And you're not running helter-skelter, worried that maybe then will this thing come, will this thing not come? Am I pregnant? Am I not pregnant? You don't need that at that age. And even if you want to, because the truth is that at that age you have feelings. As a boy, you see a girl that you like. As a girl, you see a boy that you like. You understand? You can't, like he said, you don't have to have sex at that point because you know that you're not ready to take care of a child.
But some people cannot just abstain. Like, that is who they are. Like, you don't know what they've gone through. But when you talk about abstinence and ways to prevent abortion, apart from abstinence now, what are some other ways to prevent getting pregnant in the first place?
There are many contraceptives that you can use. And I think that's one reason it even happens in the first place. Like you said, even though we say teenagers to abstain, there are some of them that they cannot just hold their body like that. So now, to use contraceptives, most of them don't know much about context. There's very bad sex education in schools and from parents. Parents don't teach their children about sex education. So there are condoms that they can use. There are so many things, really. There are pills. But like I said again, at that age, really, those things will have an effect on your body. And even condoms are not 100% effective.
Also, I think this lack of sexual education also makes, because there are some contraceptives that work for some people. Like, what works for one person does not work for another person. Some injection works for one, another person contraceptives, another one does not need to take anything. So if they are given proper education concerning all these things, I guess it will help to become better. So now I hope you know that, just already say that contraceptives end pregnancies. So hope you have heard now. Helps to prevent, rather. So what are some risks involved in this abortion process?
First of all, it is dangerous to your life as someone that is aborting a child. Even for someone that is that young, well, I don't know medically, but I know it is even more dangerous for you because your body is still developing and all of that. So aborting the child is really, really dangerous.
Okay, so Joseph.
I think it's what he said is correct. There are physical risks in the sense that you might lose your womb, which is it's just going to be sad because at that young age you still have a long way to go. And if you go to a quack, they might do anyhow. You might lose your life. Yes.
So not just scatter the womb, scatter the person's life.
Honestly, just so, and then of course, even if it goes through, there are still emotional, there are psychological side effects that you would have to carry for the rest of your life. So it's not really worth it.
Okay. Taiwo, what would you like to say to ladies that take concoctions in order to end pregnancy?
Taking concoctions is very harmful to the body. Like, that is actually very dangerous because you have no idea about what you are taking at all. You don't know how harmful it's going to be to your body. So advice is do not take any of it. Don't even take anything at all because you don't know what they're giving you to drink, so don't take it.
Do you think abortion should be made legal in Nigeria?
I don't think so. Because it's risky.
So I would say they should legalize abortion for people that like financially they are not capable of training a child. So it's just best to just remove the child instead of letting the child come and suffer. So let them just remove the child.
I don't think that any government would like to legalize it because some countries they are legalizing it, which is very bad. You are encouraging the girls to go for it.
Making abortion legal might create more avenue for people to engage in illicit acts, more young people to just say, okay, maybe I can go and get an abortion, then it might not look advisable. You understand? Or what do you think? Don't you think that if there's a rule that says that, okay, you can come and get an abortion anytime you want, anybody will just walk in?
That's actually one fact that I should agree with because thinking about that, a lot of girls just, as soon as I can get abortion, let me just do this thing now. And as small as if I don't get belly, I go come out. My feet go hospital.
But to me, I agree what you guys are saying that it can increase the acts of illicit activities. But also thinking about it, there's no way we can at least stop or end abortion process. Even if as it's legal now, a lot of people still abort pregnancies, but they go about it the wrong way. But if they make it legal, before you abort, actually you must come with a signed guardian. But not the person that impregnated, like they'll have strong evidence that person is related to you. And you cannot just enter or walk into a hospital. Like you said, guidance and counsel. So anyways, we've been talking about girls. Now it's time for the guys.
Okay.
So now what is the role of boys when it comes to this teenage pregnancy, abortion? Why do you think they can't zip up? Like, because they feel that they have nothing to lose.
I won't agree with that fact that they have nothing to lose. Well, actually, they should zip up. Like, some guys actually do it out of this idea of toxic masculinity. They feel, okay, because I'm a guy and I'm superior to the girl, she has to do whatever I want and all of that, which shouldn't be. And some people also do it maybe because of peer pressure and maybe they hear that, okay, their friends are already engaging in this. And as someone that is just growing, I think most of us fall a victim of that peer pressure. We want to do what everybody's doing, be among and stuff like that. So you say if you engage in sexual practice and unfortunately you impregnated a girl and you're not ready to be a father and all of that. So just zip up and try as much as possible to be yourself. Like, do not follow some ideas that you hear from people.
In some instances, when some ladies are raped, it also leads to pregnancy and abortion. You know that abortion due to rape is not bad or illegal. So what do you have to say about it?
It's a very, very traumatic experience. And it's just sad that they have to then go through another traumatic experience, which is the abortion again. But it just has to be done in that case because the guys that gang raped her are the ones that deserve to be. Because, when a girl has an unwanted pregnancy, most people feel that, okay, maybe it was her fault or whatever. Even if when she was raped, most people try and blame the girl. That, okay, what was she wearing and all that. But in that case, that's the only people you can blame are those guys that gang raped her. They're the ones that deserve to be punished, to be punished and reprimanded by society. The girl just deserves all the love and care that she can receive. And an abortion will just be the best thing. So she will not be reminded of that in the child. It's not even good to bring that kind of child.
Sometimes they may end up hating the child.
Exactly. Even her parents, everything. It's just not advisable.
Thank you, Taiwo and Joseph, for sharing your ideas and your knowledge. I'm very sure a lot of people have gained from what you guys have just said today. Thank you for sharing. and thank you for coming. So you guys, thank you for watching to the end, and I hope you guys stay safe. See you next time. Bye.